The Supreme Court has officially announced a shocking ruling related to Trump's disqualification from the 2024 presidential elections, and this time it will be permanent. Trump's bid for immunity is rejected by the Supreme Court. The United States Supreme Court has dealt a powerful blow to former President Donald Trump's criminal protection strategy after they rejected his bid for absolute immunity from a New York prosecutor's criminal subpoena seeking his tax returns and financial information. In this video, I will explain everything to you. Before I proceed, please hit the subscribe button and switch on notifications to start getting daily breaking news from us. Thank you. Also, the court's ruling, which came down to a slim 5-4 vote, marked a significant setback for Trump and set a precedent concerning the powers of prosecutors to investigate sitting and former presidents. Additionally, a Supreme Court judge told an insider that Trump would be permanently disqualified from the 2024 presidential elections because of the crimes he has gotten himself into. Such a person cannot take America forward, and the Supreme Court is taking it gradually, but he will be disqualified. The dissent over the immunity declaration underscores the deep ideological divide in the country's highest court and carries profound implications for the rule of law, presidential duty, and the limits of executive power. The decision represents a victory for the principle that no one, not even the president, is above the law. At the heart of the case is Manhattan District Attorney Cyrus Vance Jr.'s investigation into alleged hush money payments made to silence women who claim to have had affairs with Trump, in addition to other potential financial improprieties. Trump has vehemently denied any wrongdoing, dismissing the investigation as a politically motivated witch hunt. However, Vance's office has maintained that it is simply carrying out its duty to enforce the law impartially, regardless of the individual's status or political affiliation. The crux of Trump's argument rested on the declaration of absolute immunity, asserting that as president, he was protected from any state-level criminal investigation or prosecution. His legal team argued that subjecting a former president to such inquiries could distract from the duties of the presidency and open the floodgates to politically motivated harassment of former office holders. However, the majority of the Supreme Court justices saw it differently. Writing for the majority, Chief Justice John Roberts asserted that no citizen, not even the president, is categorically above the common obligation to provide evidence when called upon in a criminal proceeding. The court emphasized that while the presidency deserves respect, it does not confer total immunity from legal accountability and deference. It no longer confers absolute immunity from criminal scrutiny. The decision drew sharp criticism from the court's conservative wing, with Justice Clarence Thomas issuing a scathing dissent, joined by Justices Samuel Alito and Neil Gorsuch. Thomas argued that the court's ruling sets a dangerous precedent by subjecting former presidents to potential harassment through politically motivated investigations. The dissenting justices warned that the decision could have far-reaching effects for the presidency, potentially chilling the ability of future presidents to perform their duties without the constant threat of legal entanglements once they leave office. They argued that allowing state prosecutors to subpoena a former president's private information might undermine the respect for the office and limit the executive branch's ability to function effectively. However, the ruling was hailed by Trump's critics as a victory for accountability and the rule of law. Legal experts noted that it reaffirms the fundamental principle that in the United States, no one, regardless of their position or stature, is immune from criminal scrutiny. For Trump, the court's decision represents a significant legal setback and could potentially expose him to further legal jeopardy. While the immediate impact of the ruling is limited to Vance's investigation in New York, it sets a precedent that could embolden other prosecutors across the U.S. to pursue similar avenues of inquiry into Trump's business dealings and financial practices. The Supreme Court's rejection of Trump's immunity claim sends a clear message that the rule of law prevails, even in the face of powerful political figures. What do you think about this subject? Please comment and give your opinion, and let's discuss in the comments. As the legal battle continues to unfold, the decision serves as a stark reminder that in the United States, the pursuit of justice knows no bounds, and everyone, regardless of their station, must ultimately answer to the law. We've got some absolutely mind-blowing news that you just have to hear about, so if you're as excited as I am, make sure you stick around till the end because this is going to be one heck of a ride. But before we dive into it, do me a quick favor and hit that subscribe button below. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on the latest updates from us. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you're always in the loop. All right, let's get into it. Former President Donald Trump, you know, the one and only, just left the court in tears after being absolutely humiliated by a federal judge. I mean, can you believe it? It's like something straight out of a movie. Here's the deal. Trump's legal counselors are seeing a golden opportunity this week to use his shady record, particularly his involvement in a case down in Florida, to basically play a game of legal chess with the courts. They're shuffling his cases around, manipulating schedules, all in a bid to keep him out of hot water. Their ultimate goal? To prevent Trump from facing trial in federal court before the 2024 general election, and let me tell you, they're pulling out all the stops to make it happen. One key move in their playbook involves keeping one particular judge, Tanya Chutkan, tied up in knots so she can't even think about starting a trial before Election Day. It's a real strategic masterstroke, folks. But that's not all. They're also trying to delay trials in other cases, like the one in Georgia, until after the election. And while the judges aren't exactly playing ball, they're finding other ways to keep Trump out of court. It's like a high-stakes game of cat and mouse, and Trump's legal team is playing to win. They're throwing everything they've got into the mix, from legal maneuvers to courtroom drama, and it's all happening right before our eyes. Who's playing a significant role in all of this? Judge Chutkan is catching a lot of attention, especially in Florida, where there's a sizable population of Trump supporters. She's been handling some pretrial issues with finesse, attracting bipartisan analysis from the legal world. But here's where it gets even more intriguing. Judge Chutkan, operating in Washington, D.C., where the jury pool tends to lean more liberal, interestingly, Chutkan was nominated by Barack Obama and has already sentenced several individuals involved in the January 6, 2021 Capitol riots. What's fascinating is Chutkan's stance on Trump. Despite being an Obama nominee, Chutkan rejected Trump's claims of official immunity in a case, even imposing a limited gag order against the former president. This move could potentially have serious implications, leading some to speculate about investigating Trump's actions surrounding the election. But here's where Trump's legal strategy comes into play. He's known for using court proceedings to his advantage, often decrying them as politically motivated while rallying his base with campaign speeches outside the courtroom. And get this, Trump isn't expected to attend most pretrial hearings, let alone be in the mindset of a defendant during a trial. Now, the real kicker here is the special counsel's effort to push Trump into a lengthy criminal trial, effectively sidelining him from active campaigning against the current administration. And while all this legal drama unfolds, Trump's legal team is also dealing with other cases, including one in Manhattan related to alleged financial misconduct during his presidency. Jim Jordan suffered terrifying attacks from the Democrats as they found him guilty of crimes he publicly affirmed that he did not commit. In a brazen assault on conservative leadership, the left has located a new target in Congressman Jim Jordan, unfoundedly linking him to a discredited informant. Critics are quick to paint a conspiratorial picture where Jordan, a stalwart of Republican integrity, is supposedly intertwined with Alexander Smirnov, a figure charged with spreading Russian disinformation. These allegations, led by former federal prosecutor Glenn Kirshner, insinuate that Jim Jordan, alongside Representative James Comer, mishandled information from Smirnov. Yet these claims ignore the diligence that the GOP and its members exhibit in vetting information, particularly when it pertains to national security and the reputation of political rivals. One must question the motives behind such pointed attacks on established Republicans. Kirshner goes as far as to label Jordan a serial abuser of his authority, slightly referencing his history with congressional subpoenas. However, these are distractions from the actual failures of those who allow disinformation to seep into the American polity. It is no secret that the FBI keeps a record of informant tips, yet their veracity is not granted by mere documentation. The agency must validate any such claims, a duty they have seemingly shirked, leading to the unfortunate use of questionable intelligence. Any attempt to pin this systemic failure on individuals like Jordan without concrete evidence is a tactic as old as politics itself, deflecting blame by disparaging the opposition. Rather than responding to these diversionary tactics, the GOP continues to stand firm on its principles, committed to investigating the truth behind this alleged disinformation nexus. The narrative pushed by the left conveniently ignores the bipartisan need to safeguard elections from foreign interference. If there is any message to glean from this debacle, it is that responsibility and accountability are to be expected from all quarters, including the agencies meant to protect our democratic processes. Jordan's long-standing dedication to his constituents and the American public stands against the unsubstantiated claims of partisan detractors who put narrative before fact and division before common interest. An ex-prosecutor suggests Congressman Jim Jordan could be complicit with the arrested informant. A former federal prosecutor, Glenn Kirshner, has raised concerns about a potential connection between Congressman Jim Jordan and recently arrested FBI informant Alexander Smirnov. According to an article published by Raw Story on Sunday, February 25, 2024, during an appearance on MSNBC, Kirshner's comments sparked questions regarding whether Republican leaders, including Jordan, were either complicit or negligent concerning Smirnov's dissemination of Russian disinformation about Joe Biden. Smirnov, a former FBI informant, was rearrested after being released from custody. And guys, stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Please kindly let us know what you think about this in the comment section, and do not forget to subscribe to AG Official.